Like what I was saying earlier in the episode, when I go to hire out the right person for the job, I'm looking for someone that can make my life a little bit easier. And the first place that I always search is Indeed. If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. So ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so that you can connect with candidates faster. So join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/manifest. All you have to do is go to Indeed.com/manifest right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/manifest. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way to did I just hit a million orders stage? Shopify is there to help you grow every step of the way. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/manifest, all lowercase. Just go to shopify.com/manifest now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/manifest. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Manifest with Tori DeSimone. I'm your host, Tori DeSimone, and I hope you guys had an amazing 4th of July weekend. I know that down here at the Jersey Shore, it was crazy. And I'm even recording this on July 3rd. So like the holiday hasn't even happened yet, but today's Wednesday, so the day before, and it's 11 a.m. as I'm recording this, and you guys, the island is filling up. It's gonna sink. There are so many people here, and I love it. I love when the island is full. I love having so many people down. I love having people down here at the shore. So I just know that it's going to be a really wild holiday, really great. I'm really excited for it. And in hindsight, I hope you guys had a great holiday weekend. But today's episode, I'm really excited to talk about. We are diving into 3 segments in my mind. Number 1, obviously, being the title of Simple Meals for Summer that are realistic and they are easy. They are protein oriented because that's what I'm kind of focusing on right now. And they're delicious. And I love having these go-to meals in my back pocket because it makes grocery shopping easier. It makes the decision of what should I have for breakfast, lunch, or dinner easier. And honestly, the busier I am, the less decisions I have to make, the better. So for me, this is a great episode to be talking about when I'm super, super busy with the studios, which kind of brings me to another point that I wanted to touch on today, which is a segment that I wanted to begin, whether it's on this podcast or on my social media platforms, probably Instagram. And it's a little series that I'm going to be calling Confessions of a CEO. Now, I didn't do any research on the title, so I imagine it already exists, but it's not something that I'm like looking to make like part of my brand per se, but it's just something that I do want to talk about a lot more because I feel like working for yourself, well, first of all, working for yourself is all I've ever known, right? I've only ever worked for myself. Aside from one job when I was 15 and 16, I worked at Sweet and Sassy having a part-time job, and I loved it. It was so much fun. I just have the best memories of that job. So I loved working that job. But other than my high school part-time job, I've only ever worked for myself. When it was YouTube, obviously that's working for myself. This podcast, and now I own brick and mortar studios, but still I'm the boss of those, the CEO of those, at least at my 3 down here at the shore. And then back home in Phoenixville, I have a business partner, and her and I make decisions together. So all to say is that I've always been self-employed. And now with the rise of social media and I feel like there's a really big movement of people wanting to work for themselves. I just want to say I love it. I think everyone should at least have the opportunity to work for themselves, and it is possible, even if you don't know how to start. It's possible. So anyway, I'll kind of save that for another day, but I wanted to go and do a segment about confessions from a CEO, of a CEO, from a CEO, from, I don't know. I guess it really doesn't matter. But I just wanted to talk about the realities of working for yourself, because what we see online is only a fraction of the story. And I realized through doing my intrusive thought series, like when I was talking to Holland, for example, we were talking a lot about spin instructing and owning the studios, and you guys loved that episode, as did I. And I kept telling Holland, I was like, I really love talking about this because it's not something that I talk about a ton, because I find it really niche and unrelatable to the majority of my listeners. However, the people that are really fascinated in that side of it, they really get a lot of benefit from it. So then last week's episode, when I did, if I were to be an influencer today, this is what I would do. I got a lot of great feedback from marketing people that are like in the field of marketing, but I also got really great and unexpected feedback from some of my friends even, that reached out and were like, I've been wanting to just share more of my life online, but I never knew where to begin, or I didn't know what exactly to talk about. I didn't know how to start. And this episode was really inspiring because it made me want to. And you know, messages like that coming through, which that to me is really, it means a lot. But to bring this all full circle, why I bring this up is because working for yourself is very glamorized. And look, I wouldn't do anything else in the world. I think, always work for myself. I just don't think I could work for someone else, just because it's truly in my blood to work for myself, and I love working for myself. I'm so blessed to do it, but I don't touch on all sides of it very often because I just don't know how relatable it is to you or how interested you guys are in listening to it. So that's why I was kind of thinking, for the people that are interested, it can just be little tidbits that I put, whether it's on this podcast as like a little segment, or on my Instagram, or things like that. And if you want more, I am working on a project that I'm really excited to launch. It will be launching in early fall. Should I say, yeah, like, why not? Like, whatever. I'm working on launching a consulting business, and I'm so excited because I have been in the space of doing what I've been doing now for a decade plus when it comes to influencing. So, I'm going to be doing a consulting business that's launching in the fall. So with that, like, my website's getting redone. I'm doing like a whole little rebrand of sorts and sort of thing. So all of that to say, if this piques your interest, like, I will be doing consulting calls for all of my areas of, I don't want to say expertise, but like what I do for a living. Social media, boutique studio fitness owners, spin instructors, like all those sorts of things. I will be doing consulting and master classes for. I'm in the process of making those master classes. I'm in the process of redoing my website, like I said. But anyway, to make a very long story short, if this is at all intriguing to you, coming in the fall, I will have tons of more information about how to really begin to work for yourself. And if this is something that you want to do, and you have no idea where to begin, this is where you can begin. So I don't want to make this whole episode about that, but I did just want to say, like, that is coming, and that is something that I'm working on. So when I say like, oh, I'm busy, yes, it's with the studios for sure, but it's also this other whole business that I'm like kind of starting from the ground up. And I'm really, really, really excited about that. So kind of just think of it as like a self-employment consulting crash course in any of the areas that I've made my career. And so I'm really excited to bring that on. But all to say is that there's a lot that we talk about as CEOs, but there's also a lot that doesn't get talked about as CEOs. So I wanted to do a little series of confessions of a CEO just to highlight all avenues and aspects that go on within being a CEO. And even when I was writing down the word CEO, I felt like such an imposter. Like, who am I to be saying I'm a CEO? Which is really crazy because CEO simply stands for Chief Executive Officer, meaning who makes the shots, who calls the shots, who makes the decisions, whose signature is on the checks at the end of the day, things like that. And when I put it in perspective like that, obviously the answer is me. But in my mind, when I think of CEO, I think of big corporations, or I think of men in suits, or I think of women in blazers. And I don't think of the 26-year-old that's sitting in the bedroom at her beach house in a sweatshirt as a CEO. But this is the reality. Like, I am. And even though I've been having, my studio businesses for 6 years in August now, and my social media presence for, 12 years now, it's wild that I still feel like a bit, of imposter syndrome when I say that I'm a CEO, but it's what I am. But my version of it just doesn't always look like what I would expect in my mind to see, which again is like the suits or the blazers or big corporations with a fancy office and things like that. Like, this is my office, like in my bedroom at the Jersey Shore in a sweatshirt. I have biker shorts on, my TNA Aritzia socks. Like, this is what it looks like for me. And that's okay, like, because that's the reality of it. So I just wanted to share a little bit of a tidbit. This is this week's installment of Confessions from a CEO. And this one's real and very vulnerable, and they all are. And I could do, like, I have so many stories from 12 years of experience being self-employed, and there's just a lot to say. So I just want to share what's on my heart and on my mind this week, and then we'll get into the meals. So the first thing, or I guess the only thing that I'm going to share, is that this week down at the shore, because it is the 4th of July and it's down at the Jersey Shore, the studios down here are just packed. Like, it's so incredible. I am so grateful, and I can't even believe how packed they are. Like, every single class is waitlisted. So to make a long story short, I have 3 studios down here. I have 2 in Sea Isle, 1 in Avalon. When I opened my first studio in Sea Isle 5 summers ago, I would have like 2 to 3 classes a day. And now I have 9 every day. So to have 9 classes every single day, and to have every single of those 9 classes waitlisted every day this week, is just blowing my mind. Like, I don't even know what that math is. That's another thing. I'm terrible at math. 9 times 7, 63. So all 63 classes have been waitlisted this week, which is so crazy. So crazy. And to bring it on top of that, on Monday, July 1st, I had a company record day of sales in a single day. That wasn't like anything special. It was just a normal business as usual day, meaning I wasn't running a sale. It wasn't a big anniversary. It wasn't a celebration. It was just a business as normal day. And we hit a record high of, or a company record high in sales for one day. And I just kept looking at it. I'm like, this is insane. I didn't even know this is possible. It was insane. And when I think back to, what the studios could be, I don't think I could have even dreamed that it would be like this, with, these locations and the sales and the people and the wait list. Like, it's just insane. And I'm over the moon, and I'm so happy, and I'm so grateful, and I'm so humbled, and I could just cry thinking about it. So, like, I'm just so thrilled, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And then last night, So that's the side that we always see on social media, right? Is the happiness, the wait list, the good stuff. Last night, I just had a full on meltdown, you guys, like a full on meltdown. And it wasn't like from happiness, it was just from so much stress because we provide towels at our studios, and it's been really hard to find a towel service, which is so interesting because there's tons of restaurants in the area, and you would think one of them would be able to service towels because they do, linens for rental houses or linen and tablecloths and stuff like that for the restaurants and towels and stuff. It's really hard to find a service down here at the Jersey Shore. And we've been like calling as many as we can. But anyway, we do the towels here at our house. And then I have a few girls that will also do towels just like around. Like one is on my employee, one is an employee of mine. And I feel so bad because I know that she is probably just like so overdoing the towels because I understand. But anyway, the towels are... it's like a huge part of the day is like who's washing the towels, who's distributing the towels, who's picking up the towels, who's flipping the towels, what towels go where, and they take a long time to dry. Like when we have full classes every single day, we are doing 4 to 5 loads of laundry every single day. And each load of towels takes like 2 hours to dry. So this is taking up like 10, 12 hours a day. That we just have to be home and like flipping the towels and monitoring the towels. And it just adds a lot of stress. And then on top of that, there's a lot of clients to manage and staff to manage. I'm really lucky that my staff is just absolutely incredible. So I'm really, really grateful for them. They make my job so much easier because I know that they're all really good at their job. So the clients are in good hands. They're in good hands. But then on top of that, I have other things that I do, right? Like this podcast is one of them. I have another podcast with my mom. What else do I do? I guess those are like my big 3 right now is the studios, this podcast. Oh, duh. And starting the consulting business. That is taking up a lot of time and attention as well. So those 4 things are pretty big for me. So, I struggled last night really a lot with, I had like a breakdown with the towels. I kind of felt like if I don't do things, what's going to get done? And just this sort of like, this morning I did go to Acme and get waters for the studios, like cases of water, because every time I do Instacart with the waters, they always get lost. And then it just becomes like a huge hassle. We had new merch going out today, so I was distributing the merch between the studios. And it's not complaining. It's just the reality of what it is, of like, things can be going so incredibly well, like record high sales in a single day, 63 waitlisted classes in a single week, which is crazy. A 6-figure month. Crazy. Like it's been crazy, you guys. Like I couldn't even, it's just been crazy, in the best way possible. And then on the other end, I'm at home on a Tuesday night at the Jersey Shore, just crying from stress. So what I'm trying to say is what you see on social media is not always the full truth. And that's what I hope this series, Confessions of a CEO, brings to light, is that yes, it's, and maybe I'm the crazy one that's, even after all this, I will still say I love working for myself and I always will. And I would recommend it to anyone, but also just know that like, it's not just the TikToks of open my spin studio with me. It's real shit, like it's a real business, and like you got payroll and you have taxes and accountants and fire inspections and electrical inspections and unhappy clients and maybe bad Google reviews and like all that, it's all a part of it. It's all a part of it. And when only a fraction of it is shown, I think some people can be really stunned by the reality of self-employment and working for yourself. But I still just want to drive home, like, if it's something you want to do, I couldn't recommend it more. But I also just want anyone else out there that maybe runs their own business or is a CEO or even just like a stay-at-home mom. Like yesterday when I was having this meltdown, I was like, this must be how my mom felt. Like when, when my sister and I need something, like we ask my mom, like when whoever asks my mom what she needs, you know what I mean? So I get it. And last night when I was having this like meltdown, my dad was like, well, what can I do? And I was like, and they were so kind. Like they were just helping me a ton. They were like, well, we can, bring the towels tomorrow. I was like, okay, but like, do you know what time to bring the towels? Because, there's classes at certain times. There's no lobby. So you have to go only in between the classes, but I need it to be scheduled at the right time so that we have enough towels for the first class and the second two classes, things like that. And it's like, no, but if you tell me, I'll know. And it's like, right. No, people can't be in my mind. But anyway, that's all that I wanted to say about it today is that I couldn't be more grateful. And on that note, I'm also super stressed out. So, in a really great way with look guys, it's a fantastic problem to have. And that's how I'm looking at it. It's not even a problem. There's no problems. I'm just stressed out, because of towels. I honestly think if and when, because I know a company's going to pull through and make this happen. When I can get the towels like off of my plate, I think my life will exponentially thrive. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. It's like the 4th of July weekend and I'm just like stuck in the house doing towels and stuff, but that's not fun. That's not fun, but it's a reality and it's the truth. Okay. So I talked your ear off about things that maybe don't even apply to you, but if they do, might be interesting to hear. So yeah, I think I'm going to put like little tidbits like that on this podcast and on my Instagram. Obviously on Instagram will be much more short form. And I have so many. I wrote down like tons and tons and tons of things that I just thought about as I was on my walk yesterday. And I was like, this would be a really good series because it showcases all aspects of it, like the reality of it and then some. So I hope you guys like that. But anyway, something that I did post on my Instagram yesterday that was getting a lot of love was that I started strength training. And the reason that I started strength training was because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, specifically from Dr. Peter Attia about why having skeletal muscle is so important and how the last decade of your life, if you want to be able to do the simple things that we take for granted nowadays, like get up off the floor by yourself or step down a flight of steps or recover from a fall, things like that, you need to have skeletal muscle on your body. And my parents are getting a little bit older and I'm also getting, I'm 26 now. And strength training is something that I used to look at just for aesthetic reasons. And because of that, it was something that I steered away from. It drew me to a lot of body image issues. It drew me to a lot of eating abnormalities. Like you guys can go listen to older episodes where I kind of talk about like body image and the struggles that I had with binge and stuff like that. But when I shifted my perspective of strength training from something that was aesthetic to something that is more functional and long lasting and like fulfilling in your life, and it will increase your health span overall, then I was like, okay, this is what I want to get behind. So I reached out to my friend / former employee, Alex, and she's a personal trainer. And I was like, Alex, can you PT me and my family? And she was like, absolutely. So I started with Alex literally yesterday as my personal trainer, and it was really enjoyable. I think I had to go through the progression of the 2018 hit crazy workouts, CrossFit, to then the pandemic of like, okay, you can walk and just like do some low impact stuff, and then into my Melissa Wood health era in 2022. And I think that was all really healing for me because it allowed me to realize like you don't have to be killing yourself in the gym to get a workout in. nor do you have to feel like you're dying at the end of your workout to have a good workout. And on top of what Peter's saying, this is not training for a race or a competition or to look a certain way. It's training for life, right? To be functional for life and to have strength in life. And I really liked that. So yesterday when I went to the gym and did my lift, I left feeling really good. Like I wasn't super sweaty. I didn't feel like I did too much. I didn't feel like I didn't do enough. It was just a really great lift. And I think I had to have a few years of really unlearning the hit, do it all, make it crazy, be sweaty, and take on the whole mat Pilates yoga aspect of working out and fitness so that when I go to the gym and strength train and, I have time in between sets that I can just rest for 60 seconds, 90 seconds. And then when I leave the gym, I don't have to be a dripping sweaty mess. Like I barely broke a sweat yesterday and I felt fantastic. I felt really strong all day. I feel a little sore and strong today. I'm really excited to go back to the gym later and do my upper body. So I'm really excited to be doing this strength training and this like functional fitness for life. It just feels good and inspiring and like there's no rush. Like I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it for I want to be doing it for my whole life. So, which I hope is a very long, very, very long life. I want to live forever. I really do. So all of this is to say that the meals that I'm going to be talking about are to improve skeletal muscle, which is why I mentioned in the beginning of the episode that these are protein focused, because my main goal is to build muscle for my skeletal muscle. Again, not for like aesthetics. I don't want to like tone down my legs or like slim out my arms or like get a six pack. Obviously I will welcome all of that if it happens. But the reason that I'm adding strength training in is for the function of life, longevity, skeletal muscle, to protect my bones, all those sorts of things. And I think I really needed the last 4 years of a huge pull the rug out from under you with your fitness routine, really see why you're doing what you're doing to come to this point of peace. Because you guys know I've been very open that I did not like weightlifting. And there's also like this switch in my mind that it's like, oh, I'm strength training versus weightlifting. And so, yeah, I'm strength training. And then on top of my strength training, I do daily walks, which have just been so therapeutic and so amazing. And I take mat Pilates classes and yoga classes at Stride Sea Isle. So that's like what my current workout routine is. But anyway, these meals are protein centered so that they can build muscle and they also taste delicious. And like I said in the beginning, they are super easy. They are simple. You don't have to be like a professional cook to make these meals. And I think that they're absolutely delicious. So let's get into them. These are my simple meals I wrote for summer, but really they can be for any time of the year. And if you are one person and you're eating these meals, you will have a good amount of leftovers. But also if you're just one person making these meals, I don't think these are going to feel like these are too big to be making on your own. These are really good meals that if you make just for one person, they'll have great leftovers. And then obviously if you have 2, 3, 4 or more people, this is also good for larger groups as well. So, okay, let's get started with breakfast. Like what I was saying earlier in the episode, when I go to hire out the right person for the job, I'm looking for someone that can make my life a little bit easier. And the first place that I always search is Indeed. If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. So ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so that you can connect with candidates faster. Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree that Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. What I really look for in Indeed, other than, of course, qualified candidates, are people that will actually take things off my plate and make my life easier. That's the whole point of hiring someone, right? Is to make my life easier. And I found that with Indeed, I've been able to find really great talent and really great people for the jobs that actually improve my quality of life, improve the job, make everything seamless, and they're a great fit for the company. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences so that the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. So join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/manifest. All you have to do is go to Indeed.com/manifest right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/manifest. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way to did I just hit a million orders stage? Shopify is there to help you grow every step of the way. So whether you are selling scented soap or offering, let's say, outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. They're all-in-one e-commerce platform. They have a fantastic in-person POS system. So essentially, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify has got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to the other leading commerce platforms. And you can sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. I love Shopify. When I first started shopping around for where I wanted to host the Manifest Planners, I had a few websites in mind, but Shopify quickly became at the top of my list, and I'm so glad that I chose them because they make everything so much easier. When it came to selling products, I had no idea where to begin. And they made it look super professional, really, really simple. And they essentially walked me through every single step of the way. And they have a really great help center, which is really beneficial for someone like me that doesn't know what they're doing, but learned very quickly. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify is actually the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way, because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/manifest, all lowercase. Just go to shopify.com/manifest now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/manifest. The first one is overnight oats. I love overnight oats when I'm busy running around the studio and I just want to get home and I know that breakfast is ready for me. And overnight oats are also really versatile. The only thing is that they require a little bit of planning, so you have to make them the night before. Typically, my night routine is I begin to wind down. I go downstairs to fill up my thermos, and then that's when I make my overnight oats. So typically what I've been doing is a peach vanilla overnight oats recipe. It's so delicious. So I will do half a cup of oats, 1 scoop of vanilla whey protein powder. I use the Quest one, but I'm really not picky with my protein powders. Maybe I should be, but right now I just use what we have available, and it's Quest, and it's really good. So 1 scoop of protein powder, and then I also add in Greek vanilla yogurt. That just adds a little bit more protein and also makes it really, really creamy. I put in peaches. You can either use canned peaches or you can get fresh peaches. I like to get them from the farmer's market, but canned peaches are also really, really easy. And then a little bit of milk. I just use whatever milk is available. Right now it's 2% milk, but in a perfect world, I would probably use raw milk. And you just stir all that together, put it in the fridge, and then in the morning it is good to go, and it is so delicious. That's been my favorite go-to. This morning, for example, we were out of peaches yesterday, so today I did oats, vanilla protein powder, my yogurt, milk, and then I did a little bit of PB2. You could also use peanut butter, but we just bought PB2 powder, so I've just been trying to use that up. And we didn't have any fruit in the house, so I put chocolate chips in it, and it was really delicious and really good and really filling. And you can always customize that. It's really good if you do apples and cinnamon and walnuts. That's always really delicious. And brown sugar is always really good in there too. The thing with me is when I have oats that are hot with protein powder, I don't like them. But when they're overnight oats and they're chilled with protein powder, I find them really creamy and really delicious. So I like doing overnight oats with protein powder. So that's breakfast option number one. Another one is something that I've shared many times on this podcast and on my Instagram, and it's an egg bake. And this is an egg bake that my mom makes, and it's so good. So essentially, there's tons of protein in it, and it's super simple to make. So what you do, I'll leave the recipe to it down below. It's also on my Instagram, so I'll post that on the show notes as well. But essentially, it is 2 eggs, 2 whole eggs, and then I think it's like a cup of egg whites. Again, look below for the measurements because this might not be right. But it's 2 eggs, egg whites, and then cottage cheese. I think we normally do like a 1/3 cup of cottage cheese, and then a little bit of cheddar cheese as well. And then any other toppings that you want to add in. So normally we'll add in like deli ham. You could add in chopped sausage. You could add in ground turkey. You could really add in any other protein. And then we'll typically do a veggie as well. So we normally go for broccoli. And you just put that all together, a little salt and a little pepper. You put it in a baking tray at 350 in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. And you take it out. And you have this gorgeous egg bake, and it's so delicious. It is so creamy, so cheesy, a lot of protein. It's so good. And you can cut it. We normally cut it into 9 squares, so it lasts for a long time. And I always like to have it with a piece of sourdough toast. And I normally just put butter on the sourdough toast with a little bit of fruit on the side. Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, bananas, really whatever is around. And it's such a good breakfast. So I love that egg bake. Another option is a protein coffee shake / smoothie. This is a really good option if you're looking for energy and coffee, but you also want to have protein in your coffee. This has been my go-to. So I will do normally iced coffee. You can also make it hot and then just pour it over ice, whatever you like. But I like iced coffee, a little bit of ice, chocolate protein powder. I use whey again, but you could use any kind of protein powder that you want, but I do chocolate. And then I will add in peanut butter or PB2 powder. I'm just trying to use up that PB2 powder. I don't really like it if I'm being honest, but I'm just trying to use it up. So a little bit of peanut butter, and then I also add in a banana and spinach and ice, and then you blend it all together. Super creamy, super frothy. You can also add in milk if you want, like oat milk, raw milk, whole milk, any kind of milk. Blend it all together and serve it over ice, and it is so delicious and has a lot of protein, has coffee in it, gives you energy, keeps you full, and it's really great. If I'm like really on the go, I will typically have that as kind of like a breakfast replacement, and then I'll have a really big lunch in the middle of the day. And that it just really depends on my schedule, like what's gonna kind of work best, but that's always a really good option. Going along with that, I think smoothies are a really great option if you're doing something on the go, or you don't have time to go to the grocery store and get like fresh produce, but maybe you have frozen berries in the fridge. It's always really simple just to do like frozen fruit, some sort of milk and a protein powder, blend that together, call it a day. Super, super simple. And then the last suggestion that I have for breakfast is a fruit bowl with full fat yogurt and nuts. Now, this is really filling. And unfortunately, this is what I do the least, just because nuts, for some reason, don't love my stomach. I love nuts so much. I think they taste absolutely incredible. Walnuts, cashews, peanuts, it's all so good. Peanut butter isn't an issue, but whenever I have like just a nut, like almond, cashews, pistachios, especially cashews, my stomach is so bloated. I don't know if it's just really hard for my gut to digest the nuts or what it is, but it's such a shame because I live for nuts, and I will do it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there are days where I'm like, this is what I want. I don't care how bloated I am. Like, I'm going to do it, and it's delicious. But I love having full fat yogurt. So whether it can be vanilla, it could be unflavored. If I do unflavored yogurt, I'll typically do a little bit of like honey over top of it. And then any fruit that I have, I typically love bananas. I love papaya, but I don't normally have a ton on hand. I love mangoes. I love peaches. Strawberries are always good. Blackberries are delicious. Raspberries, blueberries, really any sort of fruit that I have on hand that I consider like a morning fruit. Like an apple, for some reason, not a morning fruit. Pears, so good. So any sort of fruit that I have, and I'll put that over top of some full fat yogurt and then a little bit of nuts over top just to add like a little crunch, and a drizzle of honey is so delicious. So those are some protein focused breakfasts that are on my rotation. Other honorable mentions are just like omelets, scrambled eggs on toast, things like that. I also love a soft boiled egg. Sometimes I get the egg ick, and this is like for when I kind of have the egg ick, I'll like do one of these options because they don't taste really like eggs to me. They're just good breakfast options, but yeah, eggs on toast is always really delicious. I love like over medium eggs, which is when the whites are cooked and then the yolk is runny. So I can always dip the toast in the eggs. So things like that. But those are some breakfasts that I really love. Okay, lunch. Lunch is always something that I'm kind of confused about because I'm like, where does lunch fit in? Like, I do understand obviously where it fits in, but I always feel like, am I doing too much for lunch? Am I not doing enough? Like, what do I prep? What don't I prep? So this is what I've gotten down for lunch. I have 3 meal ideas for you. The first one is probably my favorite, and it's chicken salad. I love chicken salad. It is so freaking good. And you can make it so many ways. Like you can really customize and adjust your chicken salad to be any way that you like it. You can use rotisserie chicken. You can use chicken breast that you shred. You can use canned chicken. You can use mayo, sriracha if you want it spicy. My mom puts this blush wine vinaigrette in her chicken salad and it makes it a little bit sweet. I love when grapes are in it, craisins. I saw Gretchen post a recipe the other day that looked so good. She put craisins in it, walnuts in it. I would imagine candied walnuts would be so good in a chicken salad. There's just tons of ways that you can make a delicious chicken salad. Make it for the week. You have it for the rest of the week. And then the options to eat the chicken salad are endless. You can put it between 2 pieces of bread. You can put it on sourdough. You can put it in a pita pocket. You can put it on a siete tortilla, and then it just becomes a delicious wrap. You can put it on triscuits with a little bit of American cheese on it. Then it becomes like a little like bite-sized thing, which is always super fun. Chicken salad is just, you could have it on lettuce. Like it's just so good. And it's really great in protein, and you can always kind of switch it up of how you want it to taste that day. If you want a spicy chicken salad, you want a sweeter chicken salad, you want something more savory, you can always make those adjustments in the beginning of the week, and they last really well throughout the rest of the week. So I love chicken salad for lunch. The next option is a stir fry. I love doing stir fry. I think it is so easy. It's really great to make in the beginning of the week and then again have later on in the week because I think it stores really well and it's super quick to come together. So like when you're trying to take a break from working and you are hungry and you want lunch, it's not like a giant feat to make a great stir fry. So for me, I really love using ground turkey. That's my preferred meat for stir fry. I don't love the taste of reheated chicken, so I'll typically skip the ground chicken. And there's something about ground beef that I just don't really like. So ground turkey is my go-to. So I will make it with ground turkey, some sort of rice, whether it's white or brown rice. It really just depends, whatever the store has. Wegmans, for example, has this frozen rice in a bag that is so good. Trader Joe's has it too, and you just put it in the microwave for 3 minutes and it's seriously the best rice ever. It's so good. It's so easy. So I'll typically do that. And then I'll just cut up a bunch of veggies, whether it's bell pepper or I love onions in my stir fry, broccoli, carrots, just really like whatever veggies look good and are maybe in season or that I have around the house. Chop those up as small as I can, put them in, get everything really chopped nice and fine, serve it over top of rice. And I always also marinate everything with a stir fry sauce. And I typically will just buy one that's pre-made at the store. and that's really low in sugar, and it just makes it really easy. This is a meal that comes together in about 20 minutes and it lasts all week long, and it's super, super filling. Lots of protein. You can have it with chips if you want. It's just so delicious. I love stir fries for lunch and for dinner, and sometimes I'll even have them for breakfast because they're just really satiating and really, really good. And something else is that I don't feel tired after I eat a stir fry for lunch. There are some things that I will have for lunch, like a sandwich, that leave me feeling really tired afterwards, but a stir fry is not one of them. And then lastly is a taco salad. Now, it's kind of just like a stir fry, but in a different font. So I love doing taco salads. Again, I'll make it with ground turkey. You can put onions in your meat. You can put beans in your meat if you want for that added protein. I love beans in my taco meat, but kind of same thing with the nuts. My stomach will just touch the wall if I put beans in my taco meat, but I still do it because it tastes delicious and life's too short. So it's delicious. So I'll put that in it, and then just whatever taco seasoning I have, whether I buy a pre-made packet or I make my own. So I will do that, and then I serve it over top of a bed of lettuce, and then I put my taco meat in it, and then on top I crumble some chips over top of it. I put in avocado, sour cream, cheddar cheese, and then any dressing that you want, but I just am obsessed with the Brianna's blush wine vinaigrette. It has a strawberry on the label, and it's seriously just like the best dressing of all time. My family puts that literally on everything. It is so good, and I love it so much. So taco salad is really good. Yeah, it's just taco meat on a salad, and it's delicious. So those are my 3 lunches that I recommend. They're like a staple for me. They're in my go-to rotations. They're really satiating and they're really delicious. Okay, lastly, dinner. I have 4 dinner recommendations. The first one is a crispy rice salmon bowl. Yum. Okay, so I will link this recipe below. Stephanie Bear, who is Nick Bear's wife, and you guys know I talk about Nick Bear like all the time. I love his wife, Steph, probably more than Nick, because she is just super cool. She's super motivating, super inspiring, and she has a great blog with tons of great recipes. So this is one of them that I recently saw, tried out, and it is so good. You guys, I'm like a whore for crispy rice. Like, it is so good. So she did a crispy rice salmon bowl, and it's delicious. Essentially, it's just crispy rice, salmon bites, and veggies, and it's so good. And there's something about bowls, which you guys will see, because I think all of these are like bowl recipes. I just love having things in bowls. I think it's just warm, it's satiating, it's delicious, it's filling. I love it. So a crispy salmon bowl with a glaze on top, so good. Okay, next is a burger bowl. Now, obviously you can have a burger, but I find that when I make it in a bowl, I'm able to have more of it. And I'm hungry. Like, I eat all the time. Like, I'm a hungry girl. So I like to make sure that when I eat, I'm eating good, delicious, satiating meals. So the burger bowl is really delicious because, again, I just make it with ground turkey. And then, the base can either be salad, like lettuce, or we've done it with sweet potatoes, and that makes it really good because it's almost like a burger and fries, but it's just deconstructed in a bowl, and it's delicious. So we'll do diced sweet potatoes, and that we just make in the oven. And then while that's being made in the oven, we'll make the meat, and we just use ground turkey, a few seasonings, and then you put that all together. And then on top of it, just anything that you would want to put on a burger. So, maybe some lettuce in there, some cheddar cheese, tomatoes, avocado, and then again, we just use the blush wine vinaigrette, and it's really delicious. There's definitely a theme. These are all very similar, but it's how I like to eat, and it makes it really simple for me. Okay, number 3 is chicken cutlets with pasta and veggies. I love chicken cutlets. Now, it might not be the healthiest thing in the world to bread and fry your chicken all the time, but once a week, it is so good. So I love chicken cutlets. They are so delicious. So I will make some chicken cutlets, and then I will just make, my favorite noodle is linguine. So I'll make linguine with some sort of sauce, whether it be like a jarred Rouse sauce of some sort or a homemade sauce, a pesto, something like that. I just love having pasta and sauce on hand, and then a veggie on the side. I love green beans. I love asparagus. I love Brussels sprouts. Any way that I just want to kind of incorporate a green in there, I will do. And then on nights that I'm not feeling a chicken cutlet, like if I don't want my chicken to be fried, what I will do is and this is so good, and I learned this recipe online somewhere. I will use garlic powder, Italian seasoning, salt, and pepper. And I will season my chicken breast on both sides, and then I put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Cook the chicken for 6 minutes on each side, and then when you flip the chicken over to cook the other side, put like a bit of butter in the pan, and then cook the other side in the butter, and then take it out 6 minutes on that side, so 12 minutes total. Let it rest. Cut it. Delicious, juicy, flavorful chicken every time. That is so good. Really, really satiating. And if you are like me and you have a fear of cooking chicken, this is perfect every time, and you don't have to worry about it. Put it on medium to high heat and you'll be good to go. Same with the chicken cutlets. I cook it on medium to high heat for about 4 minutes on each side, and I have them really, really thinly sliced, and they're perfect. That's like the secret for me when it comes to cooking chicken, is that I need the chicken breasts to be very thinly sliced, because if they're like thick chicken breasts, I never put them on to cook them enough all the way through, and that's like a big issue for me. And then the last recipe that I wanted to talk about was meatballs with rice. Now, this was actually an Instagram recipe that I saw. I get a lot of my dinner inspo from Instagram. This was a chicken meatball recipe with like a rice that could almost be a risotto. Like that's how like creamy it was. But essentially, it was a sun-dried tomato, and I'll link it down below. Sun-dried tomato chicken recipe for chicken meatballs with ground chicken. Comes together so easy. It was like a 30-minute meal. And then with the rice, instead of cooking it with water, she used coconut milk. I'd probably just use raw or whole milk. A little bit of bone broth, because that adds in extra protein. You could also use chicken broth. And that was it. Chicken broth and milk. And she used that to cook the rice. And it made it so delicious and so creamy. Oh, and a little bit of tomato paste. And it looked so, so, so good. So yeah, chicken meatballs with rice is another really great recipe. Also, something else that I didn't mention that I do want to say is a staple for me is lasagna soup. It is so easy and so simple. I use ground turkey, ground sausage, and then jarred sauce, chicken broth, heavy cream, ricotta cheese, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese. Not the healthiest maybe, but still delicious, and it makes for a really good meal to have later on in the week. And then I'll just use like bow tie pasta. I don't use like lasagna noodles or anything. I just use bow tie pasta, and I just cook it in there so like it's like nice and juicy and delicious and just like so good. And yeah, those are some simple meals for summer. Now, while these aren't necessarily summer meals, like they are just meals that when I'm really busy, which I'm really busy in the summertime, I'm able to just have them always in my fridge. My grocery list is always ready to go with these meals. And if I'm ever like, what do I want this week? I can always just pull from this list. And I know that I have meals that are really delicious and satiating for me, which is really important. So that's all that I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Manifest with Tori DeSimone. And I hope you guys enjoyed these meals. I hope you guys have a great 4th of July. And thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to rate the show 5 stars, follow, subscribe, share it with a friend, put on your story, leave a review. It helps the show so much, and I appreciate you guys so much. So I love you guys. I will talk to you all soon, and have a great rest of your week. Bye, guys.